All right, man, we back. Motor City Sports Talk. We in the building. Appreciate everybody for checking in. Don't forget, check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Got a Lions live, Piston live coming up this weekend. Might do two tomorrow. Might do one today, one tomorrow. Latest, I'll get one in on Monday. We approaching the season. Cut day is, I think, today. They're cutting it down. So if any big cuts, we'll talk about them from the other teams, from this team. But should the Lions sign Adrian Peterson? Something we talk about. But first, Jeff Okudah won't start the season out as a starter. Sound like it's going to be Trufant, Coleman, and Amani Arakwe. So let's talk about that first. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Yeah, I got a problem with that. All right. Y'all know where I sit at with Okudah, right? Think he's gonna be a tremendous football player, but I don't think he should have been the pick at number 3. They should have took one of those tackles. People say, well, one of the guys in the conversation we was live the other day, he said, well, I don't like those tackles like that. I don't like Taylor Decker. Can they be any worse? I doubt it. You know what I'm saying? So I would have took one of those tackles, kicked him at right tackle. It would have saved you money from Big V, or you could have slid Big V into guard, and you would have had a great offensive line. Could have still took Jonah Jackson, and you would have had a good offensive line. Could have kicked the right tackle to left next year, and then, figure it out from there. But once again, the problem is this, right? 2 years in a row, the Lions have took developmental players in the first round, in the top 10, and then one in the top 3. And tight ends take at least 1 year to kind of get and adjust to things. This team was supposed to be in a position where 9-7 wasn't good enough. They're supposed to be in a position where they was progressing. All right. Last year, the tight end didn't provide the whole position didn't provide nothing. This year, now you're not going to start Jeff Okudah. All right. He'll see some snaps here and there, but we all know one reason why the left tackle, the quarterback, and the pass rusher, religiously goes in the top 5 or top 3 is because they have instant impact day one. Not as a starter, usually now in the National Football League. At some point, the quarterbacks used to sit and learn. That's not the case no more. These quarterbacks are now so evolved and the game is so watered down that I can't be hit and you can't hold this receiver. It's a 5-yard chuck rule. Now the windows get bigger. It's a little bit easier to play the position than when Joe Montana played. But, yeah, they messed up here. 2 years in a row, you take a player that's going to be good a year, 2 or 3 years down the line. How do you justify that? If Okudah going to sit and possibly don't play right now until injury or to the middle of the season, then you could have drafted Tua. I'm just saying, you could have drafted Herbert. If you was going to draft a developmental guy, why not prepare for life after Stafford? And if Stafford goes on to play 5-6 more years in line uniform, then Tua is a blue chipper. You know what I'm saying? He's a blue chipper. Like, hey, man, I got Tua. I can get a first and a second round, third round pick for him. I get a Roy Williams deal from Detroit to Dallas for him. So, that's my only issue with it. In the pandemic, you draft a marination type player. You draft a guy that's going to need some time and some more reps. You knew it probably wasn't going to be a normal training camp. You knew it wasn't probably going to be a preseason because he said that. Bob Quinn said the reason he went with Patriot players this offseason, Nick Curtin. One of the reasons he went with Patriot players this offseason was the simple fact that they know the system. He knew it was going to be irregular offseason. Cool. All right? If you knew it was going to be irregular offseason, why did you take a developmental player? Now, they probably said, we thought Jeff Okudah was going to be a plug-and-play player. It's not too many plug-and-play cornerbacks. Marcus Peters, Marshawn Lattimore have been the two that's had major impacts on their team, but those are too far in between. Even Revis, he's probably started day one. It took some time. Now, you had somebody on Twitter, I seen it, and they was like, you know what? Darius Slay only started 4 games this rookie year. Darius Slay was a second round draft pick. He wasn't a number 3 overall draft pick. So Lions fans always try to justify shit and turn it into a fucking strawberry milkshake. No. Once again, Bob Quinn shows that he does not have the IQ. Now, if Bob Quinn say, hey, I got 2 or 3 years, as the Lions left, cool. If I know I'm going to be here for 2 or 3 more years and Okudah going to grow into this all-pro cornerback, then cool. I'm going to roll the dice on it. So, in my opinion, I think he at least got 2 more years, this season and next season. I don't think they're going to get rid of Bob Quinn this year unless he go 0-16 or some shit like that. I just don't see it. Sheila is going to ask the NFL again to help her with the hiring process. She don't know who to hire. She hasn't hired a senior advisor. She hired Rod Wood, who don't know shit about football. Even the business of football, he didn't know nothing about coming in here. So unless she go out there and sign a Tony Dungy to be her senior advisor, just like Tom Gores went to go get Ed Stefanowski, I have no hope for she hiring the right person. So why continue to pay guys not to be here when you can just let Bob Quinn and Patricia play out their contracts and then you can do it all over again. She needs to sign a Bill Parcells, a Tony Dungy. It doesn't mean they have to be in the building day to day. They just overseeing and helping her put the right guys in position to make the right picks and the right personnel decisions and coach the team the right way. But at the end of the day, I knew this was probably going to be the scenario that he wouldn't start, just knowing how I went in camp early on and just knowing the little nuances. What was the best receiver he played last year? It had to be from the Michigan Wolverines. Quintez Cephas is nice. Don't get me wrong. He going to make the roster. You could say him. But Clemson was missing all they starting receivers. So who did he really lock down last year was the question that a lot of guys was answering. But, hey, he got the prototypical size. He'll start down the line, just like Omani Araki. You know, he had some injuries last year in training camp, but eventually he got the reps. He started to start towards the end of the season. But you just got to ask yourself, if this is a win-now team or this is a win-now, must-win situation this year, why in the last 2 years they keep taking developmental players in the first round? Now, how many first-round picks are actually going to start for the Lions? You know, I mean, how many picks this year is going to start? Is Okora going to get in there and start? Probably not. He'll work his way in there. Jonah Jackson is going to start. You know, so you telling me your fourth-round rookie is going to start and not your first-round rookie? You know, DeAndre Swift may not get starter touches because he missed a large part of camp with an upper leg injury. And also, it's not that, he should naturally know how to run and catch and all that. No, it's learning the plays, it's walking through the plays, line protection, pass protection, all that type of stuff that you got to know how to do. So, Huntley, I heard more good things about Huntley than Swift because of the injury, So you continue to go down the list and you say, man, who really going to contribute this year as a rookie? Last year, who really contributed? Some people came in and down the end the stretch of the season, Will Harris and Armani, and they made some plays out there, but at the end of the day, if they was going to take a developmental player, they should have took the quarterback. They really should have took the tackle. And people say, well, they should have moved down and got Jeff Okudah. I mean, if that's what floats your boat. But I just feel they should have took one of those tackles, man. I think that Bakhtiari guy, maybe he won't be nothing with with the New York Jets. But I just see a lot of potential when you have that athleticism, that height, and that reach. I think he would have been good at right tackle and kick him at left next year. But right now, we'll be playing Mitchell Trubisky week 1 of the Chicago Bears, and, should be interesting. Your starting corners is going to be Trufant, Coleman, and Araki. And, I like Araki. And most people our impression was that Armani Araki was going to beat out Desmond Trufant, and it was going to be Trufant and Jeff Okudah. Foolish people like me. Matter of fact, Jeff Okudah couldn't beat out Trufant, but, hey, be patient. Okudah will play. And I think he's going to play within the first 4 weeks because Trufant is going to go out there and get burnt. And they're going to have some pressure on them. And I think Okudah going to go out there and trial by fire. Now, the guy that made the comment on Twitter, Darius Slay only played 4 games. He started 4 games. There was a reason for that. Darius Slay wasn't good in zone coverage. And he was out there getting burnt. And eventually he did learn. So, that is what it is, man. I'm not mad at it. I knew this was probably was going to happen. Just because it was a shortened offseason. I wish Bob Quinn would have predicted it a little bit better. But there's a lot of rookies going to struggle. This is going to probably be the most challenging rookie year. Whoever won Rookie of the Year and is successful this year, it probably should be one of the greatest rookie accomplishments up there, no matter what the stats say, because I didn't have no preseason, no real training camp, no OTAs, no mini camps, and I still came in and did good in the league. Some of the things you might see that slip is tackling early on, and that's going to be a big key. Tackling, wrapping up, form tackling is going to be a huge thing. That's going to be lacking. But, hey, let's talk about Adrian Peterson. AP, my boy AP, AD. Some people call him Adrian Peterson, AP. Some people call him all day. Hell no. That's what I call him to the Detroit Lions. No, we don't need Adrian Peterson. I don't want to hear people talking about it. We didn't see enough fading stars come to Detroit. Blake Griffin, Derrick Rose. You can keep going on and on and on again. Derek Coleman came here. Chris Webber came here. I mean, all these old people that come to Detroit, and then they come here. Anquan Bolden. I'm good. Adrian Peterson, New England. I don't care where he go. As long as it ain't Detroit. I'm happy with Bo. I'm happy with Kerryon, Huntley, Swift, Ty, whoever they keep. I'm cool with it. Now if you say go get a Leonard Fournette, now you talking my language. Leonard Fournette is a dog. He in Tampa now. He probably wanted to stay in Florida. All you got to do is go south from Jacksonville is North Florida, south to Tampa, So it ain't going to be too big of a move for him. But Adrian Peterson, no. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to see old Adrian Peterson with the Detroit Lions. You know what I'm saying? Maybe go down to Houston to go to Kansas City or something of that nature. And he got to continue to play because, his money funny. He messed his money up in Ponzi schemes and bad investments, whatever he did. But it's just no reason to bring Adrian Peterson here. But also, it might be some more interesting cuts coming down the line. So it may be some players out there. Ha Clinton Dix got cut. Jadeveon Clowney just fired his agent. But really, I think the Lions are at a point where they're comfortable with their roster when they cut it down to 52 or 53. I think they're comfortable. They're gonna be comfortable with their practice squad. But you never know who get cut. It might be some surprise cuts, some cap casualty cuts that can help you. Do I like Ha Clinton Dix? He cool, you know what I'm saying? But I think they're happy with Harmon, Will Harris, Tracy Walker, guys like that. And I think they're happy with their running back room. Maybe they did try to reach out to Fournette. Maybe they did reach out to New Orleans to trade for Alvin Kamara. Kamara still ain't got a deal yet. They supposed to been close to getting a deal done. Kenny Galladay ain't got his deal done yet. So, Adrian Peterson, I just don't see how it helps the Lions. I think he need to go somewhere and try to tag on and get a ring. I mean, Buffalo, they might be in contention in the AFC East. Maybe playing with Lamar Jackson, they might need another back. Who knows? But I hope he do get on. And, you just hate to see these athletes have to continue to play because, all the money they made, they wasted it and they made bad investments and this, that, and the third. So, I'm just not a fan of Adrian Peterson at this point in his career coming to Detroit. I want to get shining stars. You know what I'm saying? I'll take a little dull star like Earl Thomas. I'll take him. You know what I'm saying? But at this point, I just don't think. I think the Lions are happy where they at. Unless somebody big get cut. People talking about Josh Rosen. How about bringing him in? You just signed Chase Daniels. So you're going to have to, were you willing to eat that cap casualty? I think not. I don't understand the Chase Daniels signing. They could have kept Driscoll or just kept Blog. And it would have been the same situation, man. So, it is what it is. I'm saying no to AP. But we'll see what the cuts are today. I think there's going to be some major cuts today. And I think it might be some players out there that can still help the Lions. But, hey, let me know what you guys think about the Okudah thing, the AP thing. Don't forget you can check our Detroit Lions Talk playlist. Lions 1-on-1 live. I'm going to get that back popping since the season is underway. Don't forget to check out the Detroit Piston Talk playlist, Piston Live 1-on-1 playlist. I'll be chopping it up there this weekend. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Reach out if you got business, question, inquiry, sponsorship, video requests, or you just want to chop it up. Twitter's the fastest way and pretty much the only way I really check. But hey, check me out on all three. Appreciate the love, support. Want to make a donation? Cash App, CJ Good 313. PayPal link in the description. Best way to donate is share the video one time for the one time. Let me know what you think in the comment section. We go.